You know that moment at a party when everyone's screaming at the TV and you're just standing there, checking your phone, wondering when you can leave without being rude? While millions of people are emotionally destroyed because 11 strangers lost a game, there's a massive group of people who just don't care. And according to neuroscience, their brains might actually be wired differently in 7 surprising ways. Science just figured out why. 3 things. Not caring about sports doesn't make you boring. It doesn't mean you lack passion, and there's definitely nothing wrong with you. But there is something interesting happening in your brain. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you see yourself. Before we dive in, I want you to know something important. The science I'm about to share isn't about what's wrong with you, it's about what makes you different. And different isn't deficient, it's just different. Here's what's actually going on. First, let's talk about tribal instincts. For thousands of years, humans survived in groups. Being part of a tribe meant safety, resources, and protection. Getting kicked out? That meant death. So our brains evolved to desperately seek group belonging, and sports teams became the modern version of tribes. When your team wins, your brain releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone released when you hug someone you love. Watching sports together literally creates chemical bonds between people. But not everyone feels this pull equally. Not everyone has the same level of tribal instinct. Some people feel an overwhelming need to belong to groups. Others, not so much. And if you're someone who doesn't care about sports, chances are your tribal bonding drive is simply lower. This doesn't mean you're antisocial. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means your brain doesn't need that tribal hit as desperately as others do. And tribal bonding isn't the only thing at play. Now let's talk about dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Here's what happens when you watch sports. Every play is unpredictable. Will they score? Will they miss? Your brain doesn't know. And that uncertainty, it's like a slot machine for your neurons. Every unexpected moment triggers a dopamine release. The bigger the surprise, the bigger the hit. That's why a last-second goal feels absolutely electric to fans. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. But here's where it gets interesting for people like you. Not everyone's dopamine system works the same way. Recent research on a gene called DRD2 shows that some people are naturally less sensitive to dopamine rewards. Their brains don't light up as intensely from unpredictable events. And here's the reframe. This isn't a weakness, it's actually efficiency. If you don't care about sports, your brain might simply be harder to impress. You need more meaningful stimulation to feel that same reward. Sound familiar? While sports fans get dopamine hits from watching strangers chase a ball, your brain is sitting there going, "That's it? That's what we're excited about?" Your reward system has higher standards. It's not broken, it's selective. But dopamine is only part of the story. There's a psychological phenomenon called BIRGing, basking in reflected glory. When your team wins, you feel like you won. Their success becomes your success. Research by psychologist Robert Cialdini found that fans literally say "we won" after victories, but "they lost" after defeats. It's identity fusion. The team becomes part of who you are. But if you don't care about sports, this fusion never happens. You're watching the game thinking, "Why are you so upset? You didn't lose anything. You were sitting on a couch." And this connects to something called empathy allocation. You only have so much emotional energy, and you get to choose where it goes. Someone we'll call Marcus told me he realized something important. "I used to feel guilty for not caring when my friends were devastated after a game. Then I understood my empathy just goes to different things. I care deeply about my close friends' actual problems, just not about strangers losing a game. That's not cold, that's just selective caring." Now, sometimes not caring about sports is a defense mechanism. Maybe you were excluded from sports as a kid. Maybe you got tired of pretending to care just to fit in. But often, it's simply a choice about where your energy goes. Think about Bill Gates. The man built Microsoft, revolutionized computing, and is now working to eradicate diseases. Do you think he spends Sundays screaming at a TV about football? Some people channel their passion into things that change the world. Their brain isn't broken, it's just busy with other things. And that might include you. Here's the final piece of the puzzle. Sports fans aren't just watching games. They're finding meaning, community, identity, a sense of belonging to something bigger than themselves. And if you don't care about sports, you're not missing out on meaning, you're just finding it somewhere else. Maybe it's in your work, your creative projects, your close relationships, your solo adventures, your quiet moments of reflection. The human brain needs meaning, but it doesn't specify where that meaning has to come from. Sports fans aren't better at finding meaning, they just found it in a more visible, socially accepted place. You found yours somewhere else, and that's equally valid. So what does all this mean for you? At the start of this video, I said what you were about to learn would change how you see yourself. And here it is. You're not broken, you're not cold, you're not missing out. Your brain is selective, your empathy is allocated, and your meaning, you're finding it somewhere else, somewhere that matters to you. Here's something you can try today. Map your empathy. Ask yourself, where does my emotional energy actually go? What do I care deeply about? What makes me feel connected? Write it down, because once you see it clearly, you'll never feel guilty for not caring about sports again. If this helped you understand yourself a little bit better, leave a like. And if you want more videos about the psychology of people like us, subscribe. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was.